Who or what is sabotaging your boundaries right now? And what's one step you can take today to stop it?
Welcome to the Boundary Talk, our next episode where we discuss the boundary saboteurs. Very interesting topic. I'm really looking forward to what awaits us because I have no clue.
About what you have no clue?
Yeah, about what we're going to talk about because it's really unscripted, And that's what I love. We have real conversations with real questions. Sometimes we do some research on the science side. And sometimes it's just us talking about what really matters.
Exactly. And in this episode, we will do it like the last episode. You will see. We wrote some questions down, 3 to 5 questions, and we asked them each other, and go with the flow. That's how it works today.
Yes.
So you will hear a lot of insights from our own experiences. Maybe you can learn something from it. Maybe you can get the golden nuggets from it. Make notes and share your insight in the comments because it's really interesting for us how you going through your life about this topic and what you already experienced.
Yes.
Yes, so
Cool. So who's going to start with the questions?
you can
Okay.
start if you want.
All right. Are you ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So we already talked about that once, but still, now it's from the perspective of saboteurs. So can you remember a moment when you knew you wanted to say no, but didn't? What was happening inside you at that time?
So first of all, I have a lot of situations where this happened to me,
Great.
especially in the past. In the in the last 5 to 10 years, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
I've had a lot of situations where I wanted to say no, but I said yes, and so I have to think about one to pick one.
Yeah.
You know what? We talked about before we started the podcast about an experience I had last weekend
Yeah.
with a colleague from father of my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I would say I picked this one because that's experience a situation I had a lot of time in my school time.
Mm-hmm.
So he said some names to me that I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, I was like, hey, it's funny because everybody laughs. I found it funny in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But then I felt like an uncomfortable feeling in my stomach. And I was, after the laugh, I was more stressed than enjoy the situation. So I just thought about, okay, why is it like this? So I reflected in my head and asked myself, did I had some experiences like this in the past?
Mm-hmm.
And what was the situation then and how I managed it?
Mm-hmm.
And then I splitted it from the emotion and just thought, okay, how can I set here the boundary
Mm-hmm.
to to be clear, to really communicate it. And back to your question, I felt, it's like an uncomfortable feeling, like I said, in my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting nervous a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And also in the past, I always getting nervous in these situations.
Mm-hmm.
But I acted down like it was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But in me inside, it was like, the volcano was like, it's activated. But I never had the possibility to really getting these emotions out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't have to because I set clear boundaries.
Yeah.
The more experiences I get, the more I can set boundaries because we are in the process right now.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I have an uncomfortable feeling in my stomach, and from then I just have to analyze the situation, reflect in my head, get some clarity about my experiences I already had in my past, and how I want to set boundaries or communicate them right now. So
Mhm.
yes,
Wow.
that's my answer about the
That's
first
one
question.
experience from many experiences.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands. So do you have one experience that comes in your head?
Well, the first thing is I don't know where to start.
Yeah, same, same.
It's like that's a big question.
Yes,
And
exactly.
I've had many experiences where it was a moment or a time to say no, and at first I didn't, and just observed it. I can really basically make something like a Zusammenfassung. Zusammenfassung.
A script together or something.
When I take all these experiences together and reflect it backwards on my journey, I am seeing myself building up that tension inside my body from not stepping forward and standing in my power, instead just observing what it does to me, and the feeling that it gave me the most of these situations when I didn't communicate this no was I just want to go.
Yeah, same.
I have no more interest in staying there, and I don't have to. I can do the French, the French going. That's how I call it, by the way. Some call it the English way how to go. It's basically just standing up and going.
Did you did that also in your past when you wasn't aware about your feeling? Did you stay?
Well, at first, you know
Or
what?
did
That's
you go?
now I got a moment. Now I get one experience that I want to share with you. But first, yes. So I've had multiple girlfriends, and at first I would avoid the conflicts
Mm.
when it was about communicating boundaries. I would avoid them, and at first I would just stand up and go my way, like get some space for myself, until one of my former girlfriends told me I'm always running away from conflicts. And from that moment on, because I jumped from one extreme to the other, I was staying. I'm like, and I will stay in this conflict. I will not run away. I will not make or take or get some space. Now that was the other extreme, basically staying as long as it takes in this conflict till it's resolved. And what I learned out of the other relationships that I had is that it's the answer is never in the extreme. It's always somewhere in the middle. So with some people, we need to stay there and we need to stay in the conflict and we really need to talk it out now. With others, it's more wise to take some space. Each person goes his own way, is in his own energy, like verdoen. Like when someone's eating, right? And it takes some time till shit comes out. That's the word I'm searching in English. So the process of having it inside till it comes out again, that one. Oh, really? So sorry. I have to laugh because of this picture that I put in my mind. So yes, it's never in the extremes. And now here comes the situation where I had something similar like you. It was, I don't know, 6 years ago, when I was still at the beginning of my own business, of my solopreneur career, as a coach, trainer, mentor, and it was at Christmas, a Christmas evening, together with a part of the family, and I sat there and they asked me what I was doing now because I quit my job. I started my own thing. It was a big mystery. People had questions about what I'm doing and they were worried somehow. So they asked me stuff which was very suggestible.
Mm-hmm.
In these questions, there were the Annahmen.
Subtones.
Yeah, a subtone was inside, and you know, people when they just have a picture of someone doing something that they have no clue about, it's just what they imagine something to be, and instead of asking how it is, they just want to confirm their own bullshit in their mind. So I had this experience that evening, and they asked me many questions, and I tried to answer them all. And I got into this situation where I was rechtfertigen.
Over-explaining.
Yeah, where I was over-explaining myself and trying to say it right so that everyone is on the same boat and understands what I am trying to share with them. And at one point, a man stood up and he got really aggressive. So there was a lot of alcohol. I didn't drink alcohol, but he got really aggressive. And then he was like cussing at me and schreien, yelling. So he was yelling at me in a really mean and bad way, telling me that I am scamming people, that I am a bad person, that I am playing with psychology, the psyche of other people. And I was like, how did it get there? At this point, I stood up and I told him, hey, if you're not going to talk normally to me again, I have no more reasons to spend my time here. And this was the boundary that I set in this moment. Because up until this point, I was just over-explaining because I wanted to be liked for what I was doing, maybe. And it got that worse, that I had to stand up for myself, which was a great experience for myself, obviously, but in that moment, a part of the family broke apart. Because he didn't stop himself, and the rest of my family, which was there, everyone was just watching. No one stood up and was like, hey, man, he gets really mean. No, we shouldn't talk to each other like this on a Christmas Eve. Why are we yelling at each other? And no one stood up for me, so I had to stand up for myself, which is the good experience about it. But the bad experience is I saw who actually was present. So for me, there was no justice in that moment. So I just had to stand up, I had to communicate my boundary, and eventually I left. And I walked away. But the sad thing is, a part of the family broke apart. Therefore, I learned some stuff. I never have to explain myself to anyone out there. I can communicate just a boundary. If someone really is interested, he's going to ask questions without having these previews in their minds. I don't know the right word in English. I think you guys know what I'm talking about.
Just their own picture.
Yeah. They just want to confirm their own beliefs, what they think it is. Exactly. They think they know what is, but then we get back to the point where we already talked about in other episodes. I know that I don't know. Yeah. That's why I'm asking. And, well, experiences like these really, they're sad. I feel sad now.
But it's really a deep experience from you, but also one where you got a so big learning from it. That's really great because it really resonates with me. I had a really pretty similar experience like you, but in this situation I didn't stood up and said something. So I just ended up over-explaining the whole time until I was so stressed and I had to go out. But I didn't said anything. Okay. I was just overwhelmed in the situations. Yeah. And I felt literally the whole pressure from every side. It wasn't, I would say, like that bad like in your experience, but it just the questioning already punched me like in the face. Yes. Yeah. But from there, like you said, it's sad that one part of the family broke up. Yeah. But also it's a good learning from yourself. Yeah. Right?
And I know who's real and who's not. Exactly. Now. And I have no time for unreal, shitty people. And I don't care if they're from the family or not. That's a hard lesson I had to learn, but man, family is thicker than blood, in my opinion. You're family to me.
Thank you too.
Oh! Look. So
yeah, you can create your own family. Yeah. Because we're adults now, so we can do this. Yeah. If you're aware of it, that you can. Yeah. So I know a lot of people, they just like in the same friend group since years,
Mm.
and they're not happy there, and they're just like, yeah, I got here, so I have to stay here. But you don't.
Mm.
You literally don't. You can choose,
They stay because it's a habit.
right? It felt comfortable,
Yeah.
and it's uncomfortable to be special or not the same anymore.
Or to
You
step
want to
out
grow.
into the unknown, right?
Exactly.
And that's exactly
Exactly.
what it is.
Yeah.
No.
True that. True that. But I think when you want to grow or to have some learnings in your life,
Mm.
I think situations like this, they have to come.
Mm.
I think it hurts. Yeah, of course, it hurts a lot. But I think it has to come because you get stronger through this.
Yes.
You
I
really
did.
get stronger.
I did. In this moment, I learned to stand up for myself because I chose this path. So why shouldn't I stand behind myself? You know.
Mm. Mm. You didn't said yes to yourself first.
Well, I did, but in silence,
Mm.
just for myself. And obviously, you only have to say yes to yourself for yourself. But in that moment, I had to say yes to myself in front of a part of my family which was against me. And this is the strong part.
Mm.
To know your own value and to not let it be undermined by anyone, even if it's your family. So I had to say yes to myself out aloud, and that was the strong part which made me stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I want to directly dig in because you said undermine. And
Okay.
that's a word it's in my question, in my first question.
Mhm.
So, what are some subtle ways people undermine your boundaries without you realizing it at first?
Can you read it again?
Yeah, of course. What are some subtle ways people undermine your boundaries without you realizing it at first?
Um, okay, I have one in mind right now. It's basically when after communicating my boundary or how I'd like something to be, someone asks all the time into that boundary, where can this boundary be tested?
Mm.
You know those types of questions?
Mm.
You could say, right now I need some time and space for myself. That's a boundary, right? Right now I need some time and space for myself. Then the other self comes and is like, yeah, is that time already over? Can I ask you something now? Do you already have space and time again? So if I had, I would come out myself and invite the other to talk or to meet again. And that's one subtle way that just came to my mind, because that's one I experienced a lot of times. But you know, in most of the parts, I didn't communicate my boundaries before we really started to work that deep. Because I just thought that my relationship partner or my friends, they would just know me and good enough. And man, that's on me.
Yeah.
That's really on me.
Totally. Yes.
I cannot expect of anyone to know how I am working, to know how I work out, to know how I am, unless I really communicate it. And that one, asking questions when you have communicated a boundary, and it's always like giving me the feeling of, I want to test how firm this boundary is. Where can I stretch you a little bit? Where can I try to gain control over you? Yeah, that one.
I'm reading a book right now from Terry Cole.
Yeah.
She's a psychiatrist or something like this. I don't know really how to say it. For over 30 years. And she called the type of people you described right now the boundary bomber.
The boundary bombers.
Exactly. So, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. They really testing through your whole boundary. What can I do? Can I get there something? Yeah. But there is the trap that you can go into over explaining.
Yeah, true that.
So when you, like you said, I need time for myself now.
Yeah,
It's a full sentence. You
Yeah.
don't have to explain it.
Yeah.
But when someone boundary bomber comes and asks this type of question, you can get into over explaining
Yeah.
if you aren't aware of it in this
Yeah.
situation. When you directly getting aware of it and think about, okay, that's a boundary bomber, obviously I don't have to over explain myself. It is what it is. It is like I said. Maybe you can add something like, I need some time for me right now. I will text you when I'm finished with this time. Maybe, for example. Then it's clear, and it's a statement, right? Then the other persons know, okay, he will text me or call me later when his time for himself is over. So, yes.
That's a really interesting question, and it's not that easy to answer. I just realized. Do you also have a moment or an experience?
A lot of them. A lot of them in my...
One that comes to your mind right now?
Yeah. I would say probably like the same situation I already described before. The first question, because it happens to me a lot of times when people makes jokes about me in my school time, probably most of the time, and I was like, yeah, it's funny, ha 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 ha, because then I was a part of the group when I laughed with them, but inside of me it was just like, it hurts. It's not okay that you treat me like this, but I didn't stand up for me and communicate it because I was afraid of how they would react. So that's a subtle way they would undermine my boundaries, but I didn't communicate it.
Yeah.
First of all, but yeah, it was these ways to some names to me, or they make jokes about something I did. Anything like this, because it was funny in the first place, but then I realized no, it's not funny, it's just hurting, and that's a subtle way that stacks up through the time until maybe it's too late, but it was too late. Now it's not like this anymore. It was too late. Then I was just getting really angry, explode, kind of a way.
Implode or explode? When you reach that point, do you explode outwardly? And you basically start to scream or yell or be super straight and hard to the people, or do you implode? You retreat somewhere and then you're like, "Wah!"
So just by myself, you mean?
Yeah.
Implode.
You
I was
implode?
more kind of a guy that punches in my clothes wall. Yes, or in my wall. Literally, I broke my fist for once because of that.
Okay.
I was so angry from the whole day, and they weren't nice to me, the people there, and I was just really angry about myself that I didn't stood up for myself. That just punched a lot of times just in my wall.
So just to get that right, instead of then standing up for yourself, even if it is in an exploding fashion way, you would rather implode to not hurt anyone else.
Then yes, exactly, because of that. I don't want it to hurt anyone, because I was a little bit of afraid how I would react when I'm exploding in front of everybody. Because I don't know how I react in front of people when I'm exploding.
Then that basically is a boundary you haven't tested yourself yet.
Exactly. True that, yeah.
I'm not advocating anyone out there to explode outwardly.
No, but it's a point I think you have to know, because you know, okay, that's maybe a point you don't want to reach again.
Yes.
That you can stop before.
Yeah.
But I'm honest with you right now, I still don't know how I'm reacting when I'm really exploding from anger and aggression.
Well, it may be better to not let it come that far. But if it ever comes that far, you would better know yourself.
Yeah, now I'm getting more aware of myself, so I will maybe hopefully stop it before it getting that far that I'm exploding. Because that's not a way that I want to treat anybody. I also don't want it to be treated like this, you know. So yes, exactly.
Oh wow, that's a deep one.
Through that. through that?
Well, there are some subtle ways people undermine.
Mm.
Well, I could add something else, but it's not about undermining boundaries. It's more subtle ways how others tried to control my behavior instead of being real and straight, and maybe that's also undermining boundaries.
Suggesting maybe
Yeah.
some kind of behavior.
Yeah, suggestive questions. It could be something. Now I can make an example about my mom. I love her, but there's moments that really go on my nerves, and it's basically, I'm 31 years young now, and maybe it's just a mother thing. They just want the best for their babies, for their childs, but I'm not a child anymore. So questions like, oh, do you dress up enough when it's cold outside? What the fuck? Why the fuck is someone asking me a question at this age as if I couldn't think for myself? And that oversteps a boundary of mine. I didn't invite her to think for me. I see that she only knows it. She thinks it's because she only wants my best. But at the same time, she suggests that I am not old enough, not wise enough, not whatever enough to think that step for myself. So it's basically not being enough. That's one.
Really deep, man.
Yes, and that happens so many times, and it's not just from a mother to a son or a daughter. It happens so many times in relationships. Another example is, I am watching a Netflix series, and then it is 1 a.m. in the morning. If I would be together with a partner, in a relationship, and this partner comes up to me, hey, it's already 1 a.m. Aren't you tired already? You should go and come sleep. Well, I go sleep when I'm tired. I can think for myself. I know it might be cute, but it's a subtle way of controlling, of trying to gain or have to control about someone else, because there's this belief pattern inside that the other person can't take care of himself. And that's a subtle way of undermining boundaries.
Or controlling your behavior, that you're coming to bed.
Yeah. Or that
because
one.
she wants something from you.
Yeah. But then I'd rather hear that person tell me, I want you to come to bed with me because I want to do something special with you. And then I'm gonna be like,
so without suggestion, a direct question.
Yeah, just directness, just realness, just being straight. It sounds nice. Oh, it's already late. Won't you come to bed because you look tired? But man, it's not sweet. It's fucking controlling. And even though I could read between the lines, also the same with my mother, telling me in the winter, oh, do you have socks on? What the fuck? It's fucking winter. Why should I go outside without socks when it's cold? What the fuck is this question about? Really, it directly goes on my nerve. I'm starting to explode. But fuck that. Seriously.
Yes,
really
true
fuck that. And now here comes the perverted stuff. When I then communicate my boundaries, and it happened in both examples. So to my mother, I told her, thank you so much for thinking for me, but I didn't invite you. You don't have to. I'm old enough. I can take care of myself. Or do you really think that when it's cold outside, that I go outside naked? Because it wouldn't come to my mind when it's cold to dress myself warmer. And this already sounds passive-aggressive. And you know what? It actually is. Because this boundary was overstepped so many times, and I communicated it multiple times. You don't have to think for me. I don't want you to think for me in that area. If I want you to think for me in an area, I would invite you to do so, because I would tell you what I cannot think about myself. But I would come from myself, I would communicate it from myself.
Or just, can you remember me that?
Yeah, really, like that.
For example.
And and then still it happens over and over again. And at some point, I'm just like, do you really think I'm that dumb? What the fuck? Why are you telling me that over and over again? Do I look like I don't have any socks on?
So in the last few podcasts, you didn't have socks on.
Yes, yeah. Now I have. No. And in the other example, you know about the example of, oh, it's already late. Don't you want to come to bed? Once I said, why don't you just talk straight to me? What do you want? And this sounds so aggressive somehow, but it's just I'm so tired of having to read between the lines because people cannot fucking open their mouth and be real as fuck, real and authentic. Don't come to me and say, oh, it's just because I care so much for you. No, it's because you want to fucking control my behavior. Even if you think it's because you're nice. No, it's not. If you would be nice, if you're nice out there, you give the other self the chance to see yourself as you are and not as you would like to be seen. Because this is a subtle game of manipulation. Oh, I want you to look at me that way so that I can be the nice person here in this room. Because, oh, I'm the good person who brought you to bed so that you have enough sleep. Oh, thank you. As if I couldn't do that for myself.
True that.
Because if I wake up tired in the next morning, who am I going to blame? Definitely not my partner. No one out there. It's my own fault. We are all self-responsible. If we want to have the self-responsibility or not.
It's the ability to respond.
Yeah, but to whom? To myself.
Yeah.
To ourselves.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, I just...
Yeah, no, it's really important.
Man, but
it's really important.
I just see how I'm still charged around that, and I can definitely
I feel it.
I can definitely learn how to communicate that boundary in a more loving way,
non-violent way.
in a more non-violent way. Because if I communicate this boundary now,
you would be too charged, man.
To whoever I would communicate it. If I would communicate that to you, because you're my boundary buddy, you're my brother. If you would tell me, oh, don't you want to go to sleep? I'd be like,
yeah.
You don't fucking tell me when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
You go to sleep when you're tired, and I do my business.
Exactly.
But that's not a cool way, man. I want to be a cooler person for myself.
For yourself. That's the point.
For myself.
That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can learn a lot here. Let's go to the next question, man. That's deep shit. Deep shit coming up. Yes. Yes.
It's your turn, right?
Yes. So, well, basically, it's exactly around that topic. Was there someone in your life who kept crossing your boundaries and you allowed it for a long time? What changed inside you when you finally saw it or stopped it?
I probably left the friend group. Yes, one of the biggest subtle, also like undermining ways, my earlier best friend from the past for 10 years said to me that I was like I was for 3 months in the psyche. I think you can say it like this. Psychiatry,
yeah.
Something like this.
Yeah.
And then through this time, I heard a lot of sentences, a lot of voices from there that this person said this person said that, and I heard a lot from my best friend at this time. So it was really on a subtle way, and that was, first of all, I was like, okay, it's funny. But then through the time I was there, I realized it wasn't funny. It was just, for me, it was overwhelming and it makes me angry.
Yeah.
And for him, it felt like he pushes me down because I was growing in this time really fast. I was getting aware about who I want to be, who I am, and where I wanted to go in my life. And I think from his perspective, it was a way to pushes me down, to hold me back in his area. It felt like this for me.
Yeah.
But then I stood up. First of all, I spoke to him. Don't say this anymore to me. Then I said sit down with him, face to face for maybe 2 hours. I spoke a lot to him. We did that often through these 10 years of friendship.
Yeah.
But then we spoke for 2 hours. And then I thought, okay, it really it changes something.
Yeah.
He sees me in another way, like I am in this moment, and it really progressed something in our relationship. But then through the time, he still said these things, and after he said these things, he realized it, but he said it. You know, it wasn't really better. He said it less through the time, but at this point I already was lefting the friend group.
You were leaving the friend group, okay.
Leaving the friend group, exactly. So yeah, it was this moment that I was getting aware of which people said what to me and how it felt to me, and was it okay for me that these people said this to me or not. Exactly.
Wow.
And through this time, like I said, I really changed.
No.
Like 180 degrees.
It sounds like a big change.
Exactly. And then the friend group literally broke
Apart.
inside of itself through the time. So yes, it was hurting also through this time, because it was my best friend for over 10 years. Through my whole poverty. But it was necessary, this experience, because I wouldn't be here if I hadn't this experience. I would still be with him, maybe. I would still be in this friend group, and that was not right for me anymore. So yes, after this realization, after I was getting aware about this situation, it changed a lot. It changed really a lot.
Wow.
Yes.
So would you say finally standing up, having this deep talk with your friend, and then leaving the group was saying yes to yourself, to your new self?
Definitely.
Would you say leaving the group was the test for standing in your boundaries or affirming them?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. Because when I would still staying with them, I would instantly cross my boundaries.
Okay.
Directly, because of their behaviors, because what they did in this time.
Okay.
For example, they drank every weekend, and I stopped then to drink, to smoke, to getting out twice, 3 times a week, to drink like it's never ending through the whole night, spending money a lot and all these things. And I stopped then with all these kind of things. So I can't even go with them anymore, because they were going in the club and I'm not. Yes, so if I still would go with them, then I instantly would say no to myself. But I said yes to myself, so I left the group.
Alright.
Yes.
Wow. Interesting. Thanks for answering the question.
You're welcome. Do you have one life-changing experience for this question?
Ooh.
Or that really pushes or pulls your life in another way, in another direction?
Yes. And it's also in friendship. And so it was a discussion about multiple friends being dragged into the discussion that haven't been there in that discussion. And before that certain experience which I'm talking about, I allowed this person to just have its own view, you know, and just observe it and just leave it by that. But also with the risk of having more separation with other people that haven't been there at this exact moment. Basically, it's about I am a person or a being who always likes to have his own opinion, always likes to have his own perception and view about a situation, about a person. So if you would tell me about Chris, our partner, oh, Chris said that and that, and oh, he communicated this and that, I would believe you that this is right for you, but now I would approach him, and not because I want to offset you, but it's because I would like to have my own perception and view about this. Because if it affects me, if it affects the relationship between Chris and me, Chris and you, I'd like to know for myself.
Exactly.
And so in the past, I just left it like that, and I didn't give a shit because I always make my own view, my own perception. It's just, it leaves a bad feeling when I'm not really confronting the whole situation or all the persons mentioned myself. Because that's the way how I lost one of my best friends. So since I met him, since he was my best friend, I always thought of him that like he is my best friend. But over the time, because we didn't have a lot of personal connection time, because he went his way, I went my way, but still he was my best friend. He never left my heart. He's based in my heart. But over time, I don't know what happened exactly, except for he started to have to tell stories about me that never happened.
Okay.
And he dragged in other people out of my life, other friends of mine, and he added stuff to his story, to his fucking lie. Sorry, it's a bullshit lie. And one day I got to know, because someone that was dragged into this storyline, and I never heard it myself, that's the thing, approached me because this person wanted to make its own view and perception about this, and she asked me, hey, I've heard this and that about you. What is your view? What happened? And I was like, what? What happened? I never heard about this. And she was shocked too. She was like, huh? How couldn't you? Because you were involved directly. And I was like, no, I wasn't. And so, long story short, this former best friend of mine, he dragged even more people into the story, which I knew personally. And I knew from all the other person that this shit didn't happen. Not from our side, but in his imagination it did.
Okay.
And he tried to separate me from other friends of mine. And we never really had the chance to speak it out. Because he was so convinced of his story. He tried to convince everyone of his story. And he never came to me and never asked me even one question. He never found proof for his bullshit stories. He just tried to convince everyone of his bullshit stories. And the sad part now basically is I just had to cut him off. Because whatever I was posting online on Instagram, he would fucking spin a story around it and tell others his bullshit lie story just to put dirt on me. And that's really not cool. So, sad part is I really had to cut him off, block him everywhere, so that he has no chance of seeing me anywhere. And I'm really sad about this. Because normally I would now go and confront him myself and be like, what the fuck happened, man? But a lot of people told me to not waste my time, because the stories, they became so huge and he would end in an over-explaining way, trying to convince me of his bullshit lies, which I am not a part of. He makes me a part of his lie structure, and I know my own worth, and this is just not worth my time anymore. But earlier in my life, I would have like run behind him and tried to get it all right again, because I didn't want to lose him, but this was my own ego, basically. I know that, and now here comes the life-changing experience. I just know by experience, people come and go. And it's just normal, it's part of life. And the more we are attached to people, to friends, to family, the more universe will come at one point and just pull them away from us. And what happens then? We suffer. We are the ones suffering when we are so much attached. Yes, we can fight for a relationship that is important to us. But man, I'm also too tired to fight for anything. Because I just want to be honest, when something really is meant to stay with you in life, you don't have to fucking fight for it. You don't have to fight for it. Because what is meant to stay in your life, it'll always come back. If you are finally at the point where you can let others go, let others be, let them be the way they are. If you let them free in love, then only the ones that actually belong to your life, into your life, the ones that also let you be the way that you are, will come back. And the others, the ones that expected to have something of you, they will just naturally fall away. People come and go. And the more detached I am to everyone, even to you, I'm detached, brother, I love you, but I don't know, tomorrow I could die, so I'd rather make the best out of this situation and tell you right now, I love you, instead of waiting for this perfect moment to happen to tell you how I feel for you as a brother. Because that's exactly what we do when we are too attached. We save these precious moments or emotions or feelings we would like to share with someone for this perfect timing that fucking never exists.
Yeah, true.
And we could actually just lose the moment or the chance of actually telling someone how we feel if we are not grateful for this very moment right here, right now. No pressure on you guys and girls now, really, no pressure, but just think about this once, because you never know, it could be over in the next second. So for me, that's what I learned out of it, because people come and go. When I like someone, really like someone, I'd rather tell him now, hey, I really like you, I like this about you. I love to give compliments. Why? Because I might never have the chance to tell someone a compliment I really mean by heart if I let this moment go. But then I can let go, because I've let go.
Yeah.
I've let go of the compliment that is on my heart. My compliment to you is you're a really good listener, man. Asking me such a deep question and then giving me that space to come to that golden nugget that we are here right now. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
And not only thank you from my side, but also thank you for the people listening, because that's a big golden nugget in my life. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can actually take some notes on it or think about it and maybe have a moment of resonance. And if you have also experienced a situation like that, or you already learned that lesson, we would love to hear your story as well. I would love to hear your story. So write it down in the comments, share it with us. Because I know from experience, I can learn from everyone. And your experiences, your story, they are gold to me. By listening is how I can learn.
Exactly.
Now, I was the one talking, but I was also listening to myself. And I just realized that I definitely want to tell a friend how important she is to me. And whatever happens after this, I've let go. I already let go. But universe or life or time will show if a friendship is meant to stay or not. Because I also had to cut off some people in the last month, because I just realized a lot about my own boundaries that were overstepped many times, and I couldn't communicate them in a more loving way because I was charged so much, you know. And that's why I say thank you right now. I've learned something about myself too.
It's really interesting to listen to you, really,
Damn.
really, because you reflect through talking. That's really interesting. I don't see this in a lot of people's. You know, I hear them talking, but they just getting to reflect by themselves, maybe on a notebook or something. But you also reflect through talking.
Yeah,
It's really
man.
interesting.
That's what I told you by I'm listening to myself.
Exactly. So I want to throw my second question
Yeah,
to you,
please.
and I want to prime the question a little bit, because think about the question when I asked you, and give me the clearest and the easiest and the most efficient way you can give me the answer. Okay. Okay. So have you ever? No. What's one practical strategy you've used or using to deal with someone who constantly pushes your boundaries? I'm asking this question because I want for the person who's here right now with us, that they have some practical tools from us, that they have some insights from us they can use on a daily basis. So I ask the question again, what's one practical strategy you are using or you used to deal with someone who constantly pushes your boundaries?
Show clear consequences.
Show clear consequences.
That's my answer.
Give me one example.
Okay.
One consequences.
Yeah, can we make a situation so that I can give you an example in a situation? What's the situation?
I should give you a situation.
Give me a situation. Otherwise, I'm gonna pull some out of my experience.
We go back through your experience. You said already a boundary, but they still asking and pushes and asking, testing your boundary. So
yeah.
What's one strict consequence, like you said, you do in this situation?
Yeah, so before showing the consequence, communicate the consequence, obviously, right? We already also have that in our boundary book. But in that situation, I'd say I really need my space and time now for myself. I will come to you when I have the time and capacity again. If you're not respecting that boundary, I will ignore you.
Wow. It sounds so easily, right?
Yes, but communicating it and then also following through, doing the consequence, that's just one example, obviously. But if that happens, then after this, I have no problem ignoring someone. And even if it means at some point I will just, because chatter will go on, I will just put my headphones on. Noise cancelling. If we share the same room, or not text this person until I am ready to text again.
Yes.
But first communicate the consequence and then follow through if it gets pushed over and over again, because this is so disrespecting. This person needs to learn that you have integrity.
Yes.
That you follow through on what you say, because if not, they know they can test your boundaries further. And for them, it's a game.
They will do it over and over and over again.
Until they know that you are fucking serious about what you say.
Yes.
And if that wasn't serious enough yet, and this person still pushes the boundary further, even after ignoring, then comes another consequence. Show clear consequence. After communicate. First communicate and then show the clear consequence. And basically it's the same with parents and their children. That's where I observe this the most. So parents, when a child is testing the boundaries of a parent, most parents, they threaten the child with a consequence. But they don't follow through on it. And that's why the child knows exactly how to manipulate, how to test, how to go so deep into it until you explode. And a child really has to learn that a boundary, a clear boundary, is something that we have to respect. Otherwise, we don't have a nice relationship with each other. Because we get to a point where we just hate each other. But we have to also love each other because we are in the same family. Hate, love. What the fucker is that, man? Wouldn't it be nicer if we could just respect the boundaries of each other and see the love that stands behind the boundary? Because when you respect my boundary, I feel so much love from your side. And because of that, I'd like to share more love with you again. Yeah. But if you overstep my boundaries after I communicated them to you, I will give you less love. Because you just didn't respect my boundaries. And that's what happens with all the parents and children out there.
That was literally me in my childhood.
Well, then you know.
I was literally this type of kid who's testing the boundaries of my parents constantly. So they said, I wanted, for example, some, you know, these Hot Wheels cars you can buy in a six pack. And I was always, when we go to the supermarket, I was always like, I want them. And I really, also when my mother said no, I tested her boundaries every time. I was crying on the floor in the supermarket, yelling and getting angry.
That's manipulation strategies.
Damn right.
And did it work?
Yeah, every time.
And that's why
I was getting most of the stuff. Everything, near to everything, what I wanted, because I reacted always the same way. I was testing their boundaries so much until they said, okay, now it's enough. I haven't the energy anymore. Now you can get it.
Yes.
And that also was getting the result that my sister was angry about me because she was following the boundaries my parents set, but I wasn't.
Yeah, she got less.
Exactly.
So basically, fuck, man. So no, that's exactly what happens with a lot of parents, right? And if she had firm boundaries and she would have communicated consequences and then followed through, would you have tried to do that over and over again, or at some point be like, well, if she says no, she means no?
Yeah, of course.
Here, parents, you got the fucking answer.
Of course, but you have to be consequented.
Yeah.
Really,
the consequence needs to be followed through.
Yes, it doesn't matter how long it takes until the kid realizes, okay, no is no.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you have to do until the kid realizes, okay, no is no. Because I was
except for beating, man.
Yeah, of course, obviously.
Except for beating.
I'm not talking about that. Yeah, of course.
Because that's what I experienced, man.
Okay.
That's not a cool way how to learn boundaries. Because instead of learning a healthy boundaries, what I learned was fear. Fear boundaries. Fear boundaries, and that's really not cool, because then it's just the same game that happens out there in every system, in every country. People, what is politics doing basically? What is the media doing? Fear and manipulation. It's always the same. They tell you a big bad narrative, a story that you can fear about, and then you are controllable, because then they give you the solution.
They are the hero in this.
Yeah, they are the hero in the problem that they built themselves so that they can control the people.
True that.
And basically we can take that from this macro situation down into the micro situation. Most parents, they grew up the same way, by the parents beating the shit out of them, beating boundaries into them, and it's not really beating boundaries, it's just making an obeying child. When it's just about obedience, then we unlearn.
Yeah.
Then we unlearn how to think freely and for ourselves. And a healthy adult, man, we need to think for ourselves. Otherwise, these subtle control patterns happen where someone comes at you, like the mother pattern. The mother comes at you, oh, it's already late, shouldn't you sleep because you're going to be tired. You are tired because you don't sleep, because you are trying to control me. That's the fucking truth behind that. So yeah, even though it looks nice, it's really just people not being able to think for themselves, because all that they really learned is how others would think for them, and having to be obedient. That's fucking crazy.
That's crazy.
Now, can I throw this question back at you, because I really think it's a great question.
Yeah. A strategy to deal. Yeah. Until now, my strategy is to communicate in a transparent way. So first of all, that I'm getting aware of why it's overstepped. Did I communicate the boundary already? First of all, how does it feel to me when it's getting overstepped? Was it overstepped from the person? And when it was overstepped, then how I can communicate it again with consequences. So, like you said, with consequences, but also with how I am feeling with this, and what will happen when this person will do it again. That's my strategy until now. Maybe I will learn some new strategies, some more directly strategies, maybe with more efficient consequences, because I'm still learning.
Oh, I have one. That's what I'm learning right now, about communicating the consequences. When communicating the boundary, showing myself vulnerable is fucking key to not implode at some point. Even though I'm being vulnerable, and I'm gonna make an example. Thank you so much for caring so much about me that I have enough sleep. It's just when you ask me that, it gives me the feeling that I cannot think for myself, and that kind of pushes me away from you, because I'm an adult being, and this type of question really reminds me of my mother, and I don't want you to be my mother. So would it be okay for you to just trust myself enough that I will go to sleep when I'm tired enough, and you don't have to take care of me in that way? So basically that's communicating a boundary in a non-violent way while getting vulnerable and saying how it makes me feel, and also how I don't want my partner or my relationship partner to become the mother in this relationship. And then I can still say a consequence after this. If you're not respecting this boundary, then this and this is going to be the consequence. But that's really my trick on how I'm learning it right now. Really being vulnerable, showing myself vulnerable while communicating the boundary. And that needs a lot of strength, actually. It feels like I'm being weak in that moment. Still, for myself. I'm just talking for myself. It feels like I'm being weak. Oh, I show how it makes me feel, and it makes me feel shitty and separated, and like I just want to push someone away. But at the same time, it takes such great courage and strength to be vulnerable.
Yeah, it's also a kind of, we talked about already in boundaries with gratitude. It's also a kind of gratitude.
Yeah.
Because in this moment where you show yourself vulnerable, you thank the other person that on that way she or he tries to be to you. Or ask the question or say something to you. You are grateful for this, like the person said something to you.
No.
But still, then you express your need and how it feels for you, and tell the consequences. Exactly, like I said.
That's like in our last podcast episode. Oh,
Exactly.
That's really interesting.
Exactly. So, I think we spoke a lot, and we are over the time already.
Oh, really?
Far over the time,
Okay.
man. Yes, so say the outro. What we've learned today. Bring it together.
Alright.
Bring it together what we've learned today, and which maybe one or two insights the person who's watching or listening can take home and journal about.
Oh wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. Huh? Alright, my friends. Before we wrap up, let's lock in what we've talked about today. Remember, boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about protecting your energy, your time, and your values. When you set boundaries, you're saying yes to the life you deserve. That's powerful, right? Now, here's what we talked about today. We talked about these boundary saboteurs, what kind of experiences we had, and what we learned out of it. And for me, the key takeout here, I'd say, is that let people be. Let us be, let them be. Because people come and go, and if you can detach, then you let the people be like they are, and from that standpoint on, it's actually a lot easier to build a healthy relationship in any sort of way. That's my key takeout. I also like you to ask for another key takeout that you took, because then we have two perspectives.
Yeah, from my perspective is the golden nugget I will take from this episode is the communication, man.
Yeah.
Just the communication, the whole part of the communication, not only to set or express your needs, also the vulnerability, like we said before, the gratitude part, and the thing when you express your needs, that you say, like I said, how you feel and what will happen when the person who's in front of you, who crosses your boundary, what will happen when the person will do it again. And really set and communicate a clear consequence and hold it. That's the most important part, that you really hold the consequence that you set, because when you don't, you're not in a yes to yourself anymore. You're just in a yes again to the people in front of you.
Yeah, and they don't take us seriously.
Exactly.
If we don't follow through on our consequences that we communicate.
Exactly. So the whole part about communication, it's
That's cool.
such a big insight.
Yeah.
So journal about it. How is your communication in your way to setting boundaries? Ask yourself this.
Yes.
Reflect on that.
Now, to wrap it up, we would love to hear your stories. What kind of boundary saboteurs have you experienced in your life? What did you learn out of it? We would love to read your stories. If not in the comment, write us a mail. We would love to hear it. And if this episode resonated with you, or you think a friend of you could learn something out of it, please share it. Give us a like, give us a follow. We're still fresh on the journey, but we will grow together. Now, thank you for spending the time with us today. I'm so proud of us for doing this, for talking so openly about all these experiences that we have. Because for me, man, sometimes I feel so that's a sound I would make, because opening up myself to not only you but to the world, I could almost cry. Inside I am crying somewhere. It's really, I feel naked. And I'm not that comfortable yet about it, but that's where I can grow right now. That's why I want to thank you, and I want to thank us for doing this episode. And I'd say until next time, stay intentional, stay energized, and keep showing up for your best life. Let's fucking go.
We will see us in the next episode by the Boundary Talk. Bye.
Ciao for now.